everybody, and welcome back to V's Views and It's an Effin Book Club. We are back to review our September and October read of the month, which was Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. It took us 2 months. We didn't realize it would take us that long, but it did. So as usual, I have Chelsea and Sir Simon, who also read the book, and they're here to give their reviews. Yes. So say hi, y'all.
Yep. Hello.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about the author first. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie grew up in Nigeria. Her work has been translated into over 30 languages and has appeared in various publications, including the New Yorker, Granta, I think that's how they pronounce it, the O. Henry Prize Stories, the Financial Times, and Zoetrope or Zoetrope, I don't know, Zoetrope, I don't know if that's what it says. She's an author of many novels which have won numerous prizes. These novels include Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellow Sun, and Americana, which she won the National Book Critics Circle Award for and was named one of New York Times best 10 top selling, whatever, you know what I mean. That's a tongue twister. New York Times top 10 best books of 2013. She has been invited to speak around the world. Her 2009 TED Talk, The Danger of a Single Story, is now one of the most viewed TED Talks of all time. I'm going to go check that out. I found that interesting. Her 2012 talk, We Should All Be Feminists, has started a worldwide conversation about feminism and was published as a book in 2014. That's one of the books I saw on Scripto, and I said I will check it out. And she's now married and has a daughter, and she divides her time between Nigeria, where she regularly teaches writing workshops, and the United States. Okay, so that's about her, the author. Is this the first female author we have this time, yeah? And it's a good way to kick it off, yes. So, a synopsis on the book.
Okay.
But go ahead, what are you saying?
No, go ahead, because I feel like you'll answer my question in this.
So the book is set in the 1960s and follows a typical story of a group of characters who lived through the civil war in Nigeria in that time. The south of Nigeria wanted to break away from Nigeria to form their own country, Biafra, whose symbol is the flag and half of a yellow sun. You all got that, right?
Yeah.
That's where the name of the book came from. Okay. The book follows the journey of three main characters. A 13-year-old Ugu. You think all the time you were in his name, Ugu. I was thinking his name was spelled O-G-O or O-G-O.
No, I thought of a U at the end.
O-G-U, yeah. O-G-U-O or something like that.
Oh, I was thinking, well, the actual one is U-G-W-U. Ugu.
Yep, I saw that.
Ugu. I was like, okay, now it makes sense. I thought it was the accent, but I understand why. Now I was saying Ugu.
Yeah.
So 13-year-old Ugu is employed as a houseboy for a university professor full of revolutionary zeal. Olana, and that's another name too. I thought her name was Alana, and they were just pronouncing it Olana.
I thought O.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I see. All right. So Olana is the professor's beautiful mistress who has abandoned her life of privilege in Lagos for a dusty university town and the charisma of her new lover, her revolutionary lover. Anytime Kainene said that, I thought it was funny. And Richard is a shy young Englishman in thrall to Olana's twin sister, Kainene, an enigmatic figure who refuses to belong to anyone. As Nigerian troops advance, they must run for their lives. Their ideals are severely tested, as are their loyalties to one another. Now, when I didn't read what the book was about before I read it, I honestly didn't think it was sorry. Honestly didn't think it was about that. I jumped, I was like, okay, this is about the war or whatever. I just knew the author and I just knew it would be a good book, and I was like, surprise me. Okay.
Same. When you reading that just now, and I'm like, I didn't know it was about three main characters. And if I really had to sit down and think about who the three main characters were, probably Richard probably wouldn't be on top of up there as one of the three main characters of the book. I would
Really?
think.
Because
Yeah,
they're
he
telling the
is.
story. They're telling the
No,
story.
yeah. But I just felt like with Enigbo probably would have been
What's his name?
above Richard. With Enigbo?
Derek Bo. Oh, yeah. You know, I
Yeah.
thought that too, but because they were telling the story from Richard's eyes, they never said it from Ogdenibo's.
It makes
That's
sense.
true.
Now that you said it, I just looked at it and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. Why? Because he seemed like the hero of the story. Like I was rooting for him to be the hero, and then like I was like, why? You just disappoint me.
Yeah, I mean, like I expected that.
Okay.
Can I just start by saying that this book
Yeah.
was so long? Oh my god. Can we put a rule to this shit? Like, can we have like 30 pages?
The other books you read wasn't even 30 pages.
I know, but it's a lot of reading.
But it was worth it, though. You don't find?
It was, but sometimes I feel like the movie didn't have all these parts, and the movie paled in comparison.
Yes. Okay. Let's
To the book.
wait. We'll do that last.
Okay, we'll edit that out.
No. Started. Yes. So yes. Okay. So on to the 5 things. So we'll do a breakdown of the characters. Then you give your thoughts, general thoughts on the book, although we kind of did already. Your favorite or interesting parts, your least favorite parts, and the comparison to the movie. Okay, and then we'll give our ratings and whatnot. So let's do on the characters. I'll read something I got from online, a little synopsis. So we have Ugu first. The novel starts and ends with Ugu. I didn't realize that. I needed to go back. I know it started with him. So from the time he came in, I was like, okay, this is an important person. Yeah, but it ended with him. But to me, well, that's true. It ended with his thoughts, I think, for true. And he really, like, you saw his evolution from a child to an adult, and like even in his way of thinking, which was crazy because I kept thinking like, if it wasn't for him being the houseboy or leaving his village, he probably wouldn't even get the opportunity to learn so much and whatever.
Agreed.
Right? So do I need to go into more about them or no?
Just a brief sentence, I guess.
Okay, well, that's not one sentence, but he's a village boy from OP who later becomes a servant to Ogdenigbo's house. Under Ogdenigbo and Olana's guidance, Ugu is able to continue his education and his literacy skills progress through the novel. I thought that was something I realized too. Like he got smarter and smarter, which was nice. Tries to maintain contact with his mother and sister, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, let's go. He has 3 love interests, Nasunichi, Eberichi, and Chinier. I don't remember that one. Is that a girl he lost his virginity to? I don't know.
I can't remember any either.
I remember Nasunichi and Eberichi, but I can't remember from where. I remember one was where there was when he got conscripted, like a go-go. But
there was one he used to make jump through the bush to go meet him. Yeah?
There was one that used to come to his house,
to the
master's house. But there was one from the village that he liked.
Oh yes. That's true. And then the other girl from when they were in the middle of the war. All right. So yeah. What you thought about Ugu?
I love Ugu. I felt like he was just so pure. I liked him. I really did like him. He was just so pure and innocent, and it was just really nice seeing someone. Like I could relate to him. I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot.
I like the word that you used, pure, because that's what I felt about him also. It felt just like this book was based on is it based on true stories?
I don't know if the characters are true, but I mean the events are true. But that's why I said I think it just follows the typical characters from what the life of that person would be.
I think it's true because at the end of the movie, it said where the people are now. So it said that
Oh yes, that's true. I forgot that.
Ugu moved on to be a waiter. I think Olana,
A waiter.
I think, yeah, waiter in real life.
I thought he was a doctor.
No, the doctor is, remember what's his name? Odinagbo. What's his Odignabo? Right?
Odenigbo.
Odinigbo. He was sleeping with his mother's help. Remember? She was the one when they made the baby, right? The baby turned the doctor in real life.
Yes, grew to be a doctor. Okay.
Yes. Kenane. I love the name. Kainene, right? She was never found. And
oh, we are reaching on there. Hold on there. I tell you.
Wait, we're not reaching there yet. I mean,
what's it, Farrah?
Sorry.
Let's go.
All right. So I like I said, I like the word Chalice used when she described Ugu as pure. That's how I felt about him too. It felt like he was legitimate in all the actions that he did. Like he really wanted to please the master. He really wanted to please everybody. And the work that he did wasn't out of let me do this so that I could show off, or let me do this so that I could look better, or let me do this because I'm having this fancier life that I had when I was living from where I came from. It was like, I felt like it was legit, it was honest, it was pure, as you said, and I liked his character.
Yeah, I liked his character too. I find he was loyal. I loved his loyalty, and a lot of his scenes made me laugh. But my least favorite part of the book was what he did one of the scenes, and we'll talk about that later when we get to that part. But yeah, there's something you said a while ago that just hit me. Something I was about to say. I forget. Maybe it'll come back. But yeah, he was cool. Now, Olana. I mean, I wanted to like her, but I felt like her growth as a character was too slow for me. Like, girl, like she kept doing shit. I'm like,
what growth?
Huh?
What growth?
What do you mean, what growth?
I didn't see any growth in Olana. Olana got me mad.
Everybody grows. It doesn't matter what they might go in a different direction, but everybody grows.
Right.
All right. Well, she grew back downwards. She grew downwards.
Yeah,
That's why she grew. Because I felt like she was just doing a little too much. Like first sleeping with her sister's man, which is married. That was a little no-no for me.
Nobody was married in that scenario.
Richard was married.
He was never married.
Richard was married. Yes, he was married to the white lady.
He wasn't. That's his girlfriend, Karen or whatever. I am not calling all of them Karen. Susan.
Karen is such a that's like a normal white person name, Karen. Yeah, he was married. Because in the book I could remember when they were on the bed together. Kainene and Richard was speaking, and she said like, "You leave your wife for me."
Yeah, she was being funny. Because I think he said right away, "That's not my wife." Oh, he had tell her that at the party.
Can you please take this out of the video? We don't have to look like we don't know what we thought. And what you shaking and rubbing your hands to? What you shaking and rubbing your hands to? What you laughing? What was that? That passing friends over you there?
Cameron.
What? What's the assignment?
You saw my video of Kevin?
I was watching that. I didn't finish it yet.
Oh, you saw it as assignment?
Yeah.
Sorry, which video?
A video I made with my friend Kevin. Like I sent him some stuff from St. Lucia. He from California.
Yes. I like this.
Okay, all right, let's continue. Yeah. Let's just run.
What part beyond? Okay, let's run through the characters fast. Yeah.
Okay, that's the top three. Let's go. So Richard, I felt sorry for him often. I felt like he could have done more for himself. Like I'm like, SCA, you could stand up for yourself a little more, boy. Like, so I think but the weird thing is I identify with him the whole book. Out of the three characters, anyway, like the three main characters, I feel like my personality was more Richard.
I felt like mine was more Ugo.
Same. I felt like I was Ugo. And I pitied Richard the entire time. I was like, dude, as you said, like be a man, like do more for yourself, be strong, you know. And
Yeah, and
I
yeah,
just
Lana
felt
just got
sorry
made
for him
sick.
throughout the entire story. Although some good things possibly were happening for him with the way he felt like he was going in terms of his writing. But I was like, dog, do better now. Shit.
Yeah.
Who was your least favorite? Mine was Ugo. I said Ugo already.
Your
Least
least? I
favorite?
thought you said you muted.
My favorite was Ugo. But who was your least favorite?
Out of the 3 main characters or out of the whole book?
Out of the 3 main characters.
Lana.
Same.
Olana and her husband. Olana and her husband.
Why you keep muting?
More her than her husband.
There's the movement. I mean, I know that would filter, like, for the video.
I know, and they have noise cancelling on Zoom.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, because sometimes you hear, like, you don't hear my fan right now, and it's right there making noise.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
But mine was Ugo, and my least favorite was Olana and Odin. What's his name? Denigbo. And I feel like it was their fault that Kainene didn't have to be there. When she left to go to do the trade while the war was going on, she left to go back to her hometown to do some type of trade, and she was only with her sister because of what her sister was going through and to give some kind of comfort or support.
I don't think so.
I felt like she was there because of the war.
Yeah, because she was a profiteer at the beginning. She was actually profiting off the war at the beginning, and then when she started what really going on, she started managing a refugee camp. Now, if you notice in the movie, one of the good things they were doing, they were showing a map. Because you remember the troops, it was the south of Nigeria and the troops was coming from the north, so they kept pushing people more down and down and down. And there were certain places they stayed in the book, like where they were living by the university in Nsukka, I think, yeah? And they had to go to that other place that they were most of the time, and then they had to go to that 9-bedroom small thing. And then they went to where Kainene was in the south, like that. She was further south. So it always seemed like she was doing better, but I don't think she was home. She was never, their parents flew away. They asked them to come. I know. Hold on, Anyway, yeah, what are you saying, Chelsea?
Well, I say now you that's true, because I remember she and Odenigbo was having a conversation about she profiting off the war, and that's like, she leaned more to the enemy side and whatever. But that is true though. She didn't move there. It wasn't their sister. Yeah, that's true. It wasn't Olana's and Odenigbo.
Just call him Obi.
Obi's fault.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
Girl, I can't hear you.
Move along, because you don't hear me all right yet.
All right, so the general thoughts in the book, of course, it was well written. She's a writer, obviously. Good writer. Yeah. I find she paints very vivid pictures, like more than I need. I was like, okay, that is like really understand. Like, as close as you get to understanding before you can start feeling something. Like, that's what it seemed like. Like, that's how she writes. And even the graphic scenes, even though I didn't like it, but some of them, but yeah, she really did I was picturing everything in my mind. And it was just crazy, like your own people fighting against each other, Like you're ready to kill each other for what? And they never really, I don't know if it's me, but they never really said exactly why. Like they gave a reason why, they speculated why the war started, but they never gave a reason, did they?
That's how I felt too. I was confused as to why this was happening. I was like, these people fighting, and I know 100% sure why. And why they just don't stop.
Because I feel like it's a tribal thing. Like, how tribes normally have fights? and after like years and stuff like that, they develop. But there's this like some sort of like
Rivalry.
buried animosity towards each other.
Yeah,
I
and I
guess
think
there's maybe that sparked it.
the quote unquote powers that be, they just played off that.
Okay.
But my favorite part of the book, I thought it was interesting anyway. I thought it was very interesting that Olana left her privileged life to go live with him. I was like, okay, maybe all right, that's true love, whatever. That's what you're supposed to do, I guess.
But then he started drinking away.
That's way down in the book. I talked about from the beginning.
From the beginning, he was like from the beginning, like they had their first big fight. He came back home drunk, with she wanting him to confront his mother. By the way, she spoke to her, which is Olana, and then he came back to her place.
He was always a drinker, but I don't think he was like a drunkard. Yeah, I don't think so. I think he turned into a drunkard later. Like
after his mother died.
Yeah, after his mother died, that what it was. But he was always a social drinker, like he has his friends. He probably just drank too much at night, like most people. And when you have a little rough patch there, So, but yeah, I don't think he was. But what else you were saying?
That was it basically. Lita was speaking in me that button.
Oh, I was just saying about her privileged life, I guess. And I was reading someplace that another layer to her is that she realizes that people treat her the way they see her. Like they see her as prettier. And I was dreading this too. Like when I was seeing the prettier, because she kind of is her twin sister, but they're fraternal twins, right? So I was dreading the movie. I was like, I wonder who playing Kainene. And I'm like, but this lady pretty. I'm watching him and Anika Noni Rose. And I was like, how do you take a character when knowing that they're supposed to be ugly to the audience? Like they pushing that narrative about them. I was like, I don't know it. And she was I hated that she was darker than Olana in the movie. And they kept pushing that she was the ugly twin. I was like, yo.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's because like you see like how we are in some people are in the Caribbean where I see the time is running down.
Yeah, good.
But where like if you lighter skin, you're much more prettier, and if you're darker skinned, you're frowned upon. Because I know some like fair skinned girls that are not all that, what they would consider pretty, but then they will look at somebody that's darker and then compare them and still put the light skinned person above. So maybe that the whole point of that was to show that because Kainene was darker, she was viewed uglier than her sister.
Okay, all right. I understand that now. Wow. I understand that now because, and by the way, I don't want to compare women, but anyway, the book, I thought that they would have played off it more now because we have the visual, but they never said that Olana was light skinned to me. Did they in the book?
I don't think so.
When they were describing her, no. When Richard from Richard's point of view, because it did come from Richard's point of view, and they did describe Kainene.
Okay.
And yeah.
Well, another part I found interesting, like Olana being put through all that BS. I thought that was ridiculous. And then I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and I've been binging it. I'm on season 9 now. And then they have a scene with Christina, the Asian girl, when she married to the man, the white guy, with the red hair, Hunt. Like he cheated on her or whatever, and then she says in the bathroom, like she crying in the bathroom, she's like, I have a MD and I have a PhD. I'm doing this badass research, and I'm like one of the best I'm on my way to being one of the best cardiothoracic surgeons in the world, and I'm in this bathroom crying over a boy. I was like, like it's like crazy, and I feel like a woman alone could get that joke. I mean, maybe the boys could try and get it, but a woman alone, and especially a woman who achieves and like very ambitious. Like she doesn't like a really like, and I'm like Olana have so much going for her, and she just there following mates.
What got me mad was I felt like, okay, yes, your family came from money and from power, and like and there was like a war going on right now. Yes, they book a ticket for only 4 persons, but I mean, it's family wealth or whatever. She couldn't have extended her hand to her husband. You
And
understand?
the
I mean,
person
like,
that booked that ticket is her parents.
it's her parents. Yeah, I understand. But she come from money. She has money to whoever was running businesses and all that.
But that wasn't the point. She wasn't staying because she was staying because they needed to fight. Because she believed in the war. She believed in Biafra, being separate from Nigeria. You cannot do it and you running and you fleeing and leaving people because you in yourself could make a difference. Because you have to believe that you could make a difference.
And then, like, yeah, I feel like she was that kind of person to feel like, yeah, I can make a difference. But then, as you said, this was the same girl that is very successful, very pretty. A lot of man want she, but she's there pining over this fella.
But not even that cute, according to Kainene.
Right, she's not even that good looking, right? She's there pining over this man. So it's like, how could I possibly leave this person, go with my parents, and leave this person that I love back in Africa with all these bombs blowing up? Both of we had to die together, you know?
I mean, I guess in a way it was for love too. But I think Odenigbo was really the person, the revolutionary. That's what I thought I would have seen. Well, I saw him as that, but then he ended up becoming a drunkard and whatever. Like he was one of those really pushing the fight, and I think he sold her the dream of it, and that's what she was following. I don't think she deep down wanted that. I mean, she probably wanted it, but I don't think
if she had an option.
Huh?
Yeah, if she didn't have that influence, or if she had like a different option, if she was like, let's go to Australia and live instead and not do this war.
Yeah.
She would have chose, she probably would have been the person, yeah, let me go.
Yeah, with Mohammed.
Let's go and live in Australia and do something else.
Yeah, I felt that. Yeah. I didn't feel like she really, but then she stayed, and I don't know. And then, oh God.
I love how, this might sound very silly, how they simplified how they make it sound simple when the people live in. So a couple things stood out to me. Again, this might sound very silly, but they made me smile and made me think like, although just the vastness of Africa and the vastness of people in general, the scene you could the scene when you're reading a book, the portion when Olana was flying away from Odenigbo, she went inside the airport and she met some other family there that was waiting for somebody to come back from studying abroad, blah blah blah. And then the grandmother was there, and the way she described the grandmother, like I could actually see this old lady that don't really know a lot of things, but she knows she grandson going to London to study. And then when the plane landed, the granny was like, where they going with this boy? The plane landed, you need to stop right here. And she's like, what the hell they carrying boy? And she's like, relax. The plane's gonna stop eventually. And the grandmother is like, but that, how she was, I mean, it's not one part, but it's just several parts. I love those parts. Those were my favorite parts when she was able to show how simple and also how extravagant some people's lives were in Africa and how different things are for people. Well, Lana knew how the plane does land. Lana's been on several planes. She's been in several places. But then there are lots of people there that don't know about these things. And you would feel like, I mean, I know it's 1960, but you would feel like everybody should kind of be on the same plane. Even when Ugu and his aunt was going to meet the master, and the way she described how different it was when he moved from the ground, like walking on the ground, like walking on the pavement and paved roads with cars and different kind of houses.
Wow.
I was like, I liked those parts. I like those parts of the book. It was able to show how people appreciate different things. I like those parts of the book.
That's true because whole day you're walking on mud and then for you to
Right.
start, wow, I
Yes.
didn't.
Yes.
That's
I like those parts. And then when he would leave the master's house and go back to the village, it's like, what's this? This is how I used to live? Sleeping on the
that's
ground and sleeping at the, and then fighting with, all we had to share this pot of food. Like,
So for me, my favorite parts of the book. I mean, I love that book so much. I loved it, but oh my god, it was long. But my favorite parts were like every time the book about to take this kind of weird ass turns, the way it was described, like no hints. I wasn't prepared for this shit. I wasn't prepared for Odenigbo to be sleeping.
the girl.
What's her name? Yeah, and then the way it was just like too much for me. Like that was just where my emotion.
What you thought about the mother? His mother.
The mother was really well. Again, I understand because that's what she knew. That's how she grew up. The reason why I understand is because you have people who don't know much about technology. She didn't even know what's a stove. Like she's looking at it and she's like, my son is wasting too much money on a stove. Mm-hmm. She don't even like you see like she's so. You were saying it a while ago, Sir Simon. You were speaking about how it shows just how people are so
different.
They're different.
Yeah. Based on how their life is, they experience different things based on, like you said, what they know.
What they know. So then I wouldn't expect different for a woman who come from the village who doesn't know what's a stove. You understand? Who feels as like an intelligent woman is a witch.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. She was being funny, but then I was like, wait, she really believes that?
Believes that that she's a witch. Like for you, because remember these people believe that what's a woman's role is not to be educated and not to be a person who has money. A woman's role is to be in the house, cooking and cleaning. So when there's a woman who's educated, a woman who doesn't need to cook or clean because she has help, she's a witch. What else can she be? That's not a norm for her. So right. I could understand why she blasted.
Right. And one of these simple things that made me laugh, talking about just that, when she said, I heard your mother didn't nurse you from her breasts or something like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that she felt like that was a thing, like, you are clearly evil, you are clearly crazy, you are clearly not a good person because your mother did not nurse you from her breast. Formula is not a good enough thing to make you a healthy child. Once you get fed from your breast, it's like, you can't be marrying my son because you two stink.
You drink breast milk.
Yeah.
And these people come out like from some kind of like strong traditional norms and morals. So anything other than what they believe is wrong. Just like Christianity, but we're never going to judge it. We're not going to.
And you know what? But you know what's funny? She okay with her son having all that education. I mean, it's the thing of the whole thing you were saying, Chelsea. But for the wife not to be educated, and to the point where you make your son have a child with a girl who more or less would be on the same road as the mother, like not knowing about a stove and whatever. So it's like like as much as people like to say like children marry the character of the opposite sex parent, like a boy marries his mother or a girl goes after her father, no matter how good or bad they were to them, that's the type of person they're attracted to. Like it just was weird. It was like a reverse thing. Like you want, maybe that has happened, I don't know. Like a mother wants her son to marry somebody that's looking like her. Like
yeah. And clearly the housemaid, she was, as Shelly said, she was somebody that's in the house. She knows how to cook, she knows how to clean, she got iron, she's very humble, she's gonna be subservient to the man. So why should I let you get married to this witch when I have a good Christian girl here for you to get married to? And he can make a child.
And I found it weird that she had a house girl. Like she probably I think probably organic will build her a house and things, so she had enough money. Probably in her village, she probably had more money than most of the other people there.
Yeah.
I suspect that because when you talk about the other villagers as living for like Olana family, and that was weird too. But Olana's uncle and them were living in a hut, like a small place when your brother or your sister has this big job.
Yeah.
Right? So rich or whatever. And the woman was, there was something you said earlier on too, Simon, about like how when Ugu went back to his village and he seen like how they were living. I find too throughout the book there were a couple of times where they showed wealth through wastage. Like they were talking about when the food was thrown away, like and then I don't know if I can't remember if later on they were talking about how they would love the scraps, like these scraps. I don't know. I think they did say that, but they made references. Yeah, the other part I found interesting was Ugo reading Frederick Douglass, and that was the only book he had because I just finished reading that book, and I thought that was interesting. And then I also thought it was interesting how Susan, if that's her name, Richard's ex-girlfriend, not wife, like she didn't see women as a threat, and she was jealous of Richard talking to women, but then it's like the woman that took her away was the one she didn't feel like was the threat. I thought that was funny because she was black. Like black women to her didn't seem like a threat.
Yeah. I like this book, and I like how it was a different type of book from what we've been reading all the time.
I think we did a break. Say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was saying, like what Chelsea said before, there was a lot of moments when the twists just came, and it's like, what happened? Like how? Because when the book started, it was like, I had no idea where it was going to go. I had no idea where it was going to go.
But I tell you all in the last video, it's about war.
You did. But then I didn't figure like that was the way it was going to go.
Yeah, because it spent so much time like in the normalcy of life. Like it was, and that's why I hate the movie. I'll get to that.
And it just
can we get to the movie now?
Yes, now.
Just missed them.
That's all. Well, I was thinking of the least favorite parts. I was like fucking Ugu. When after they constrict you the first time, they save your ass, and then you go and get yourself into the war again. I was like, this fool, for woman. I guess everybody have their downfalls, whatever. Everybody have their weakness.
You know what really made me sad in that book? One of my worst parts also. Like I just cannot believe they couldn't find Kinini. Like that got me really mad.
Yes.
That was like
to say she came at the end like
and it just let me like, can I get some closure, please? Like,
when I see the time going down, I was like, no. Wait, are they going to tell us what happened in 30 seconds?
Same.
She was never found.
Those two parts were my least favorite parts. Least favorites in terms of making you sad when Ugu got caught and when they couldn't find Kenny. I was glad that they found Ugu and he got back to them and he was like, things. But when he got caught in the first time, I was like, God, Jesus. And then when they came and they said that he was dead,
when they said he was dead, I didn't believe he was dead,
No,
I believe Kennedy is dead. Or was.
I wanted to stop listening. I was like, I don't want to hear anymore. Like, honestly, I didn't want to go on anymore because I was like, is that making any more sense?
And as I said, let me just say that for the movie before I finish. But when they showed that part in the movie, I didn't believe it because they didn't really connect Ugu and Olana's relationship in the movie for me to feel like, these two people close. In a book, and that's why the first comment under there was like, I'm glad I read the book first.
I read the book before I
read the book first.
Yeah, me too.
Because this is ridiculous. I was done. I was disappointed. I had it like a little late night situation, I was like, hey, I just read this, babe. I just read this nice book. Like, there's a movie to it. Let's just watch it. Let's drink some wine. Whatever. I was screaming on the movie. I was so.
Actually, I liked the movie. I like the movie.
That movie was too cringe for me. It was cringe in terms of what is this? What is this?
It just needed more money. It needed more money, and they could have told it better. If that was 5 hours long, I would sit down and watch it.
It needed more money, yeah, but I feel like even if it was like a well-made movie, it would have been very similar. Because when you read a book in general, and then look at the movies, like the movie missing a whole lot to what is in the book. That's always happening. Right? So I wasn't surprised that this is how it went.
Now, let me just see, right? Let me just see. Again, you're reading a book. You are given descriptive words. Everything is described for you to the T. Well, depending on the writer, you don't have to come up with that. You have to come with the imagination. Now you're watching a movie. Everything's already set into place. They cannot focus on the texture of the pillow and say, it's already.
No, obviously not. But I mean, there were certain crucial parts in the movie that were missing from the book.
Agreed, but
like for example, how close Ugu and Olana really were. So then, like, I didn't believe if I watch a movie first, I'd be like, why this bitch crying over mate? Like, you didn't even like him. Like, he was not even really that close to him. Like, you were with him, but not really. Like,
yeah. In the movie, it felt like Ugu really was just a servant.
Yeah,
he was just a servant. He's cook and clean for us. We can buff him up. I mean, he was a good servant. We treated him very well, but he was still just a servant. But in the book, it's like that was his son. That was his son.
Or like a little brother, like a close little brother, something. Yeah, like, but he wasn't there. Like, he was more than family. Like, he was family.
In the beginning, I wanted to turn it off. I was like, I watch this movie. No, I really can't. Even just a little things. I was like I was looking forward to the part when he was walking with his aunts to the house. He just showed up in the movie just so, and the man is like, "What is your name?" Augusta. How old are you? 30.
Yeah.
You standard too. You in standard. Yes. You're gonna be big for those as a 13-year-old in standard too. I was like, and I was like.
That's true. And even when Olana went to visit her aunts and stuff, they didn't show the roach that was on the wall. I was looking forward to that too. I was looking forward to that to see her picture. Like, there are lots of stuff that was missing for sure. A lot of little stuff that you read in the book that you might have laughed at. Yeah. Or like was just like expecting to see in a movie and you didn't see at all. Like that. Yeah. Okay, now the sex scenes described in the book were beautiful. Those in the movie were horrible. I was so mad. I said, "Just give me something to watch."
Esse.
I'll be sure you want, man.
I know we're talking about the movie already, but I didn't say my least favorite part. That wasn't even my least favorite part. The least favorite part that broke my heart and I didn't like Ugu because of that. It just made me watch him. Like, even though I think they still had a good bit of the book to go after this happened, and like I felt like Ugu had to regain my trust, kind of thing.
I feel like the way you go and say.
When he raped the girl.
Oh yeah.
Like this fucking nigga. Was that even in the movie? I don't think it was.
It wasn't in the movie.
The thing about that part though. Like I felt the same way. I was like, ooh, what is weird? You're better than this dog. And he knew that he was better than that, and he knew that this is not something he wanted to do. But he had no choice.
You think so?
He had a choice. They probably shoot him if he didn't.
You think so? They would have shoot him?
I feel that's what I felt. Or maybe we don't know if they would have, but that's probably what he thought. He was like, I need to do this, or they're gonna kill me.
Oh, I didn't get that vibe. I got a ego vibe, like when he said to, well, although he probably could have said that just to, but like, oh, that hurt me. That break my
Nah,
heart.
I felt like he was forced, and he felt like he needed to do it, or else he would get in trouble and potentially die.
Now
That's what I felt about it.
You know what it could be, because he's a teenage boy. He hasn't had healthy teenage relationships with people his age.
Right.
So he wouldn't, like, the peer pressure was even easier to get to him than, like, normal. If he was
because
around,
because it wasn't just his friends, it was the people that he was in captivity with, along with the people that captivated him. And it wasn't the people that captivated him that was like
the soldiers.
Yeah,
the soldiers.
And he had to do it, or I mean, or die. That's what I felt.
At some point, I didn't feel like he was a captive anymore. I feel like he wanted to be there.
I feel like you have to play a part, because again, it's survival. You have to go into survival mode. I mean, if I was ever captured,
Stockholm, this is Stockholm.
Nah, I don't think that's Stockholm syndrome.
Right? He was
him playing his part.
Yeah, if I was ever captured and I was put in a position where, like, my survival depended on how well I can blend into and just show them that I'm willing to be a part of, I would do it, but I'll never forget who I am or where I come from. At the end of the day, I know I'm doing that just to escape or just to get away. So then I feel like he did it because maybe, again, all eyes on him, and he had to prove a point, that he had to show that he's part of them. And so he had to do it.
Yeah. I just want to say, I feel like Kainene was my favorite character in that book. Although she didn't have a major role, I liked her. I liked how sarcastic she was. I liked her tone. I liked her
elegance.
Elegance and arrogance. It's like, well, I know I am this person, and
Yeah, she was very sure of herself. I was jealous of her. I was jealous of her, actually.
You're jealous of her?
Yeah, I didn't like her. I kept expecting her to be like a horrible person. Like, I kept waiting for that moment or that scene when she was never that. And I was
again, that's one of those twists in the book, because in the beginning I felt like, oh, Olana is so nice. Olana, she speaks so well. She's going to marry this man.
And Kainene is cold.
And Kainene is this nasty twin sister that you want to hate, and then she just turned out to be, although she's still the same way, like, she developed into something that you liked and you trusted, and you felt like, I could be close to her. Lots of people wouldn't like her, but I could be her friend. We probably wouldn't be very close, but I could.
I thought was interesting. You know what I thought was interesting? Both she and Olana, even though they were different, as a woman in those times, they were similar. They still stayed with their men even after they cheat. I thought, of all people, Kainene would have left Richard. Do you understand? And she didn't know him that long, to me, to say, like, you would stick with him.
I mean, okay.
I mean, I know I'm saying with Olana, like, women, one of the factors women take into account is how long they've been with the man. Like, and if, well, that's a different factor, but yeah, how long they've been with the man. Like, wow, we've been so, like, this is just I'm sure some women think about that, and then they're like, okay, I could get over this. But it's like, if I just you and you fucking somebody else or whatever, and my own sister, after they've been putting us against each other from birth. You understand? Like, they keep making her, like, although they never played out that part of the relationship, though, I find, which was kind of nice. Like, they never hated. Like, I didn't expect, Kainene didn't hate her sister because they were, and Olana never felt like she was better than her sister because they were making her feel more pretty than her sister and whatever. But, like, she just made Richard out of leave, like, forget mates, and she still stayed with him. Maybe because,
but remember, the book didn't give any time frames there. The book didn't say, like, from 2 years to 3 years. They didn't, like, give.
To me, it was over a period of 7 years, from what I was hearing. Like, what I understood, like, because I was thinking of baby's age as well too, as I was going through. I was thinking of that too. So, it was to me up to 7 years. I don't know if I right. But yeah, like I
I
don't know.
don't think
I
too.
don't know. I don't know. Just now, I also want to say this. I don't know if it's a play to who, like how women still were not free in their mind as much as they are now in than in 1960. That she felt like she still had to stay. But my thing is, most women feel like they still have to stay when they marry, not when they not married.
Again too. Like one thing I've noticed there, and because I've been into once, like sometimes, like you cannot really. There is no time frame on loving somebody. Like I feel that's a part of science that cannot be explained. There's like no time frame, like for you to, like nobody can literally say not what causes you to fall in love, but I don't know how to say like when you fall. I don't know how to express it, but you know what I'm trying to say. No, yes, say yes. like there's the science behind falling in love, how long it takes to fall in love, right? I'm sure you fell in love with people at different times. Like I would fall in love with somebody in the space of 6 months. You might fall in love with someone in the space of a day. You might have some sort of weird feelings that you just cannot express. So then again, you never know what was her feelings. What were her feelings. So the feelings was maybe strong. She had extra hormones.
I think if the war wasn't going on, she would have lived it. She just needed some regular pin, just like to keep it there, for the war.
And she ended up falling in love and shit.
Who would have left who? Kind of would have left Richard.
Yeah, had she had more option? No, I don't say more option. She had the option, but like she just feel like she was free. She was doing what she wanted, how she wanted. Like, okay, yeah, mate, cheat on me, but I still want him, so I'll just play it.
Stay around, yeah.
Yeah, like she not thinking like what I should do and this is my principles. Oh yeah, I still want him, whatever. When I'm ready, I'll just go get up and. That's what I feel. Huh?
So I have a question. We were listening to the book, and during the book, the narrator was saying there was another book in the book. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the book Ugu wrote?
Was Ugu who wrote it?
Oh, you mean Richard book he was writing?
Yeah, that was my question in the end. I was listening and I'm like, okay, cool, that's listening, blah blah blah. But then in the end, I couldn't figure out who wrote it. If it was Ugo, or if it was Richard.
I think it was I think Richard told him like it is your story to tell and it's for you to write, because I think Ugo was thinking of being a writer or something.
Right.
And then he started writing or something. And then I think Richard read his stuff and felt like he was, because I feel like the whole thing, the reason why Richard couldn't finish his book because he was a white man in a war that he didn't understand. So it's not his story to tell. So that's why he could never finish the book. That's what I think.
So you think it was Ugu who wrote it?
I think it's a real, they said a name at the end of the book, I think that's a real thing. That's an actual book that's out.
And you, Chelsea, you think it was Richard who wrote it?
I thought it was Richard, but now she's explained. Now I believe it.
I was confused when I was done. That was one question I had. I was like, who's writing this book? While the book was going along, I thought it was Richard's, but then in the end, I was like
it was.
Yeah.
Wait, you felt like somebody was writing a book? Oh yeah. It's true. At the beginning of every chapter, they had some little.
She was saying like one. She was saying 1, 2, but then she was like in the book, and then she writes something, and then she get back to the story about them.
Yes, that's true. I always I tell myself, I wasn't really.
It was. I think it was.
That's what I did initially.
Poetry,
But then in the middle, I was like, Richard writes in this book. And then in the end, I was like,
I should go back. I should go back and listen to these parts.
I really did. Your next was like, yeah.
But I think we talked about the movie already. But more or less, the movie was Toronto.
Yes, peeling comparison to the. It was peeling. It was.
The explosives were like Toronto. They would have been looking good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was like,
that explosive don't look like it's gonna blow you up. Like, get a
the explosives. They had a cheap. They had a very small budget.
Yeah, nah, for this
But
situation.
those explosives in the book, they frightened me too. Though I remember I was walking one time when I listened to this book. It was in the night, and I was like, God, Jesus. I was like, oh, please. I couldn't imagine.
Living there.
Like, this book was just so well written. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Like it was like I could imagine it, but I can't imagine it because I've never experienced anything like that.
Experienced
I
it.
can't
Yeah,
imagine
people
living
went through
there,
that.
going through that
Like
shit.
Susan, you literally, I was literally thinking, like, as you saying, I was thinking it. Like, imagine living and waking up to bombs and having to
Yeah,
have your
yeah.
clothes already packed and to run
Right.
if anything had to happen.
And this is people's lives.
And sadly to
Like
say, it's
people
still
actually
happening until
live that
now.
way. Right now in 2020, right? People actually
Yeah.
live that freaking kind of way.
On the car, when the car couldn't start, when they had that bomb thing, and then I was like, my God, don't tell me they're going
To die.
to. Poor Jabby.
But jobs,
Huh?
but jobs.
Oh, no S, just poor Jab. That was just a
That's
sound.
what I gave how they couldn't
Poor
find Ken in
Jabby.
the room.
Huh?
That's what I gave how they couldn't find Ken in the room. And I felt really bad for Richard
Yeah.
when they couldn't find Ken in it. Like everybody else could have think, but I was like, Richard, poor Richard. Because I feel like she was his confidence. Like when he was with the other girl, he was like, yeah, I'm Richard. I'm this sad, shy man that don't want to talk to anybody. And I feel more comfortable talking with the woman than with the men. I feel like, you know. But then when he was with Kanye, she didn't bring it. She didn't bring it out because I feel like he was still very timid. But she made him feel a certain kind of way. Like he probably could have felt comfortable talking with people, you know, or he used to think differently and he used to look at the world differently. She used to make him do that because she was so very nonchalant about a lot of things. Like in the sex scenes, it's like, okay, he cannot perform, and she's just like, okay, on to the next. He put on back the clothes, and she's just like, and he's confused as hell. He's like, what is this? Who is this woman? He's expecting her to quarrel, expecting her to feel a certain way. She's just like, okay, that's what happening. We're moving on. We're going. We're gonna come back the next day. We're gonna try, or we would not try again. And it's like, you know, but she made him. She pulled out
A different him in him.
yes, from him that wasn't there before, and that's why I felt sorry for him when they couldn't find him, because this is who is making him to become a better, stronger, more masculine person, and then she's not there. So where is he gonna go after this?
The time running out.
I know.
How are you saying that?
When we
It's
say
with a
that,
co-host.
be mindful, because you cut him off. So when I edit in that, I'll have to keep what you just said, the time. You understand? In his thing.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
Just be mindful.
Just spoil my
But yeah,
time.
we have a minute, at least a minute again. What you said there about she was his confidence, I thought that was interesting, because, and I started thinking about how I wonder if that's what they say when, like, you know, people who love you or the people you love bring out the best in you, or like they make you better, like, or make you more confident to be yourself.
Yeah, probably, because he had liked her. And he didn't just like her. He admired. I felt like he admired her, and he was in awe of her. He's like, what is this magnificent woman when she come out?
I think because Susan, I was just going to die. I don't think that was her name, but because she kept like all this insecurity, she just like Richard, like you that. But then Kainene was like, oh,
yeah, I don't care. Like
I think too, because people like that, like Kainene, know that they have faults too, and you better like treat me the same way I treated you. Because when I falter, like I need you to just be like whatever.
Well, but I'm a human also, so
exactly, yeah.
So I would give this book a 10, I guess, a 10 out of 10.
I would give this book a 10 out of 10. Well written, like the words I gave you, like it was just like so vivid. Everything like it forced your imagination to work.
Yeah.
It forced your imagination to work. That's why I guess that's why the movie peeled in comparison to the book, because it's like you going to like you literally created the entire movie in your head. And so I love the way the author executed, amazing 10 out of 10.
I don't know. This is probably the first book I've listened to in its entirety. And I feel like that also had a lot to do with it to me that made me enjoy the book. I feel like if I read it, I would have liked it, but I would have been lost a lot, right? Especially because of when you hear the narrator saying things and the way she said it, when she used those different accents and when she said things, they're like, okay, I know this is what the man's saying. When she talks like an American, when she talk like a Indian man, when she talking and it just brought it to life. So I feel like for me, listening to this book added to it being as good as it was, because it made the imaginary aspect of it brought it to life in a way that I probably wouldn't have been able to if I had just read it. Right? So I like that. I like all them American accents. How you feel that I was like, yo, this woman's bad. The narrator was bad, but the author was really good also. You know which part hurt me?
Huh?
When they shoot the boy in the airport in front of Richard. What the hell?
Wasn't expecting that either.
What's all you doing? Why all you do that?
I feel that's why too.
The boy parents after. I was like, what?
I didn't expect that.
Me too.
It's like, what the hell?
What was I about to say?
And I was looking forward to that part in the movie. I was like, let me see how all are going to do that. Let me see if you're going to make me feel.
They actually spent some good time on that part,
They did, but it didn't make me feel the same way as the book did.
Yeah.
True. You know what what I get from that book also? I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with the book, but while I was listening to the book, there were times like when my mind would have like just stop and just like imagine what was really happening back then, and understanding like again from a country like Africa, like a country with so much
country in Africa.
A country in Africa, but I'm talking about I'm talking about Africa on a whole, like the African population, persons who are I just seen that you're an African. There's so much power and so much, like it's just like so, like it's a heavy title, like to say I'm African, because you come from so much. They don't all come from, you understand, those sorts of upbringing or whatever. But I mean, like it just made me really sad sometimes, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Huh?
I see what's wrong with that if you take him from.
I mean, no, like just saying that, okay, now, like for example, right? Carrying the title of an African, being able to say that I am an African, proud, I am an African baby. Yes, I see this monolith, right? So where was I going? Just being able to say that I'm an African, and then even still, I'm already surrounded. Then to travel and to have that same experience elsewhere, like people treat me bad just because I'm an African. Like everywhere you go. Because what you're sleeping or something like.
Huh?
What happened?
I could see your eyes, Veronica, doing a lazy eye there.
What happened? We listened to you.
No, Veronica was watching. Like I don't know, like it's just sad. Like basically what I was trying to say, like it was just sad, like knowing all what they came from, and still like having to deal with it, like not only from your own kind but from others, like white people looking down on you. Then you have Chinese looking down on you, and you have like all different races like Asian. Coming after the melanins, the Asian, sorry,
melanated.
You know what annoyed me in this book? The fact that they treated the white guys, foreigners, differently. Like everybody's here in Nigeria, Biafra, wherever. Like, shoot everybody, Don't shoot me because I'm Igbo and then leave Richard, let him walk through the airport normal, like there's nothing going on, or the other white guys that came from, there were somebody else that came from America and somebody else that came from somewhere to do a documentary or something. Like, don't treat them nicely and treat me badly because I am African. Treat everybody bad.
And the more your people. Not
Right?
saying they deserve to get shot, but
No, right, yeah, you. Me and you is the same person and you want to shoot me? No, sir. Shoot everybody. Don't leave the white man to think because you have a different passport, because you have a different skin color. Don't do that. Kill everybody.
Okay, guys, can we end?
yeah. So
Anton,
Can I
babe.
did?
so Chelsea, you
No, I
said
just
you give the next month is your pick. Okay. So let me try and make myself look normal. Hold on. All right, so that's it. I look like my eyes are getting.
What the hell?
Okay, so that's it. Tell us what you think. Leave a comment if you've read the book. So we'll be back for our next month read of the month.
Yeah, read the book and don't watch the movie earlier.
Yeah, don't watch the movie. If you're gonna watch both, read the book first. Yes. So as I always say, keep your intentions pure and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Be kind to everyone. Bye.